Hi guys, welcome to another Block Spotlight. Today we're going to be taking a look at a Buildcraft machine, another single block machine from Buildcraft called the Filler. This little fella is extremely useful. Um, if we open up the interface and have a look at what he can do. On the top here we have a recipe area. So this is kind of like your regular crafting grid, so you put your components in there and you end up with an outcome there. Now, this is just a way of programming the filler to perform different operations, and we'll come to that in a little bit. There are specific recipes that will work in there. You can't use any old thing. It has to be exactly how you need to do it to get it to work right. This area in the bottom here is an inventory area where basically you can put the resources that you want the filler to use, and that will basically use these resources. Now you can pipe them in, as you might expect with a Buildcraft machine. You can pipe them in with Buildcraft or Red Power. It won't make much difference. So the only thing that you might have to bear in mind is that occasionally, depending on which type of pipe you're using, it will fill into the recipe area up here. So you have to be mindful that you're either using a recipe that uses up all these slots, or that the way you're going to be automatically filling isn't going to mess your recipe up. Now, the actual recipe to make the filler we have here, it's a chest on the bottom with the crafting table above it, a couple of gold gears in the corners with black and yellow dye, and a landmark. Now, the landmark is just a redstone torch with a piece of lapis lazuli on top. So that is a fairly expensive recipe, but compared to what it will actually do for you, it's extremely good value. You're going to get your resources worth out of it. Now, as we can see here, on the front of these fillers we have different patterns, and they correspond with what each filler is set to do. So we've got the recipes already programmed into these machines, so I can show you those in a moment. But we've basically got here, which is the fill recipe. It's all black. This one here, which is the clear recipe, all white, so that will clear an area. This one is a flatten recipe, so that means that it will fill up to the bottom of the area that you set. This is the stairs recipe. That will basically make a set of stepping stairs, tiered, graduated fill. This one here is a pyramid, so that will basically build a pyramid. So that's tiered. It's like stairs on all four sides. And this one here is walls. So it's just going to fill the walls, not going to touch anything on the inside. And that's basically the 6 recipes you've got at the moment. Now, the fill recipe is basically 9 sets of bricks. Fill it up entirely. That should tell you that's a fill recipe, but for some reason it's not working at the moment. The next one along is 9 pieces of glass, and that is the clear recipe, which again you would normally get a tooltip there to tell you that's clear. This one is flatten, so 3 bricks and 3 pieces of glass on top. That's another quite useful one to use. These 3 here, I mean, you can basically use this one to do your mining for you. It's quite a fun way of mining. This one here, stairs, so in a stair kind of pattern, as you might expect, is going to give you the stairs. Then the pyramid, you've got 3 on the bottom and 1 in the middle. And then finally the walls, which you have all around the outside in a chest shape. Now, I'm going to fly around and just show you what each of these recipes looks like when it's been running for a while, or how it would look if you were going to use them. So I think what we've got here, first of all, this is fill. So this is just basically filled. No, this is walls. This one is walls. So we've got here, it's basically created. Is it too deep at the top, too deep at the bottom, I think, and no, one deep at the bottom, and that's basically made a room for us. And that's the walls recipe, so we'll put a roof on it as well. This one here, walls. Now this one here is the stairs, and this one is, I think, appears to still be going, but must be running out of probably run out of resources here. But as you can see, it's stepped up the front, and we've got a solid line down the back, and whichever is the front is going to be determined by where you place your filler. So the filler will always be at the front, and in fact, if I were to just chuck some wool in there to finish that off, we would see that just finish off the last little bit in pink wool. Lovely. Now the next one, which we've got at the back here, this is pyramid. As you can see, it's a very baby pyramid, but it's basically just thrown down, stepped stairs on all four sides, and as it's gone over the edge here, it's filled all the way below as well, possibly because it's sand. So yeah, there's stairs. This one here I had set to flatten. So what it's done is it's actually where there's been a gap, it's filled all the way down to the bottom, including through the water. And then once it's got to the level which was set, which is this height here, it's basically, it clears away the area on the top, and rather than collecting those, it drops them on the floor. So if you're going to use this and you want to keep all the blocks that you've got there, you probably want to make sure that you're around to run around after it and collect stuff up so that it's dropping on the floor. Which leaves two recipes, fill and clear. Now I could set this up as a fill instead of going again. In fact, if I have a brick, I will do just that, and that will then just fill this up. You can see on the inside, it's basically going to make this a solid cube of dirt. Now, as for clear, what we'll do, I think, I'll show you how to set up an area, and what we'll do is we'll take out everything that we've just done as part of this demonstration. Now, the way you set your area is you use these path marks, and as I said earlier, that is a redstone torch with a piece of lapis on top. Now, if you put a redstone torch, or in fact a redstone signal, next to one of these landmarks, what you'll get is you'll get beams out in every direction. Now they will go out 64 blocks from the landmark, and you can use this to basically identify whereabouts you want to be putting the other landmarks, because you need to set out your area. So if we want this up as high as that, the stairs over there. Now what we can also do is go this way as far as the pyramid. As you can see, this will clear quite a large area if that's what you want it to do. So we can clear this up as far as there, and then also let's get rid of all these cactus as well. So we'll go to there. Now if we come back here, what we can do is we can, if we right click on this landmark, it will paint a line between it and another landmark that's on the same line. Now if you do that with this one here, because it's connected to all the other torches, it paints lines in all the directions. Now what we can see here is we've got a big red box, which is basically the area that we're going to clear. Now what we can do is we could set this to flatten, and it will fill all the way down here, and so we've got a nice big level platform. But we're not going to do that, at least not to start with. I may do that later on. What we'll do, you need to place your filler down next to this junction torch, or I think it could actually be next to any torch, but as long as it's next to a torch, what it will do is it'll convert all those laser lines to this black and yellow tape. So what we can do then is we can drop our recipe in, and we need glass for this particular recipe. So we'll drop some glass in there because we're going to clear. So we'll set that up to clear, and again for some reason I'm not going to tooltip there. It might be that any eye is interfering. No, it's not. It's not. So the maximum input that this filler will take is actually 10 Minecraft joules tick, and as the biogas engine will output 5, this should get it going at a good rate. I might actually want to put another one on here just to be sure. So the maximum is 10, so bear that in mind. Like, your steam engine is going to output 1, so if you've got a couple of steam engines on there, it's going to run fairly slowly. Get a couple of biogas engines or combustion engines on a filler, then it's going to go quite quickly. Now what we should see here, if we could figure out whereabouts it's starting, because it should have started. And one thing to note is that the lights on the top are green when it's got a recipe and it has work to do. When it doesn't have work to do, or there is no valid recipe, the lights on the front of the filler will be red. Okay, so if we come over here, as you can see, what it's doing is it's basically clearing out this this area, and because the sand is falling down, it's actually just clearing this one layer, but because the sand falls down and blocks this layer again, it's clearing it again. And as you can see, it's just dropping it all on the floor. So if you're going to use it as a clear in the clear recipe, you'll need to be available to run around and pick up all the blocks that it's going to drop. Otherwise you're going to start causing yourself problems. Or you can have some other way of collecting all these blocks. It's entirely up to you. But just be aware that they are going to be landing on the floor, and you will need to deal with them. So that is basically how the filler works. Now once we get over here, it should take these blocks out, these fillers out for us as well, and it should clear out all of this quite nicely. So I've used this before mining to actually clear out an area near bedrock, and then all you need to do is run around afterwards and pick up all the blocks. So there you go, it's broken these as well, thrown it all on the floor, including the contents. What it will do as well, if you're on 1.3, it will drop the experience from ores as well. So if you're using the latest version of Minecraft and you want to make sure you're getting your experience from all your coal and your redstone and your diamonds and things like that, then the filler will still drop the experience on the floor. You just need to run around and pick it up. So there's that as well. And as you can see, this is going along quite handily, but because of the way this was built with sand, it's actually just going to clear out the whole lot. It will leave that pink wall on the top, so you can see it doing that. If, for instance, we were to have a set of dirt there, it will move past that because that's on the next layer up. So there you go. There's the filler. That is pretty much what it does. Extremely useful machine, and especially useful if you're going to be doing large terraforming, or for instance if you wanted to fill quarry holes after you've dug them out. Either the flatten recipe or a filler recipe with sand in will do the job there. It's entirely up to you which way you want to go with it, how you want to use them. I've certainly found it extremely useful once I've started using it more often, so it's always good to bear in mind that it's there. If you have any comments, if I've missed anything out, then by all means please tell me below. Hit me up on Twitter and Twitch as well, because hey, why not? You'll find out when I go live and when I release new videos, and it's free. You don't have to pay for that. Part of the service. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.